They are natural, self-replenishing, and have almost zero carbon footprints. Renewable energy sources are nature's free gifts to man that are underutilized. Over the years, there have been discussions around sustainable energy solutions. Governments and businesses are taking initiatives to undo the damage done from years of unabated use of fossil fuels. Integrating renewable energy into the grid could reduce dependence on fossil fuels and improve access to electricity nationwide at the least possible cost. More people are now eager to adopt sustainable sources of energy, and this requires harnessing renewable resources to generate electricity, from solar, wind, and hydropower to biomass and tidal energy. These sources are abundant and are continuously replenished by natural processes, unlike finite fossil fuels. Adopting sustainable energy solutions appears a viable long-term alternative compared to traditional fossil fuel-based energy generation methods. With so many options available, how can Nigerians determine what works best? This is our focus on Panorama today. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. I am Adeola Komiakiri. Thank you for joining us. The Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation has commenced the appointment process for new permanent secretaries and the Accountant General of the Federation. In a statement signed by the Director, Information and Public Relations, Office of the Head of Service of the Federation, the two vacant positions of Permanent Secretary arise from the recent retirement of the Permanent Secretary from Oyo State and an impending vacancy in the Northwest Geopolitical Zone. The position of Accountant General of the Federation will also become vacant in March 2025. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, says the appointment process will follow a structured and multi-tiered evaluation as approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as this demonstrates the government's commitment to meritocracy, good governance, accountability, and professionalism within the public service. The selection process will involve a written examination, ICT proficiency test, and oral interview. Candidates will also undergo anti-corruption clearance and asset declaration. The final appointment will rest with the President, who will consider the best performing candidates based on their performance throughout the selection process. The unveiling of a national single window system by the federal government to streamline trade processes, curb corruption, and recover the over $3 billion yearly revenue leakages has been described by key players as crucial, especially as countries around the world grapple with various economic realities. In this report, Hengino John Adams examines the prospect inherent in the national single window policy.
A World Bank report indicates that inefficiencies at Nigerian ports cost the country over 2.5 trillion naira annually due to delays, administrative bottlenecks, and complex procedures that significantly increase the cost of doing business at the ports compared to other West African countries. This is a sad reality, but the good news is that the National Single Window Policy is designed to tackle the problem as it aims to boost the economy and position Nigeria as a competitive trade hub in Africa to achieve the $1 trillion economy by 2031.
One of the objectives that we have as a team is to reduce turnaround time for cargo in the ports. When you do that, you're reducing the incidences of demurrage, etc. And when you do this, you send a signal to your international partners and they know that there's efficiency in your ports.
For key players, the reduction in clearance time will have positive impact on businesses.
We have gone to every single agency involved in import and export process and documented the processes they have today. The next step from that is we're going to review those processes with the agencies.
With cost of doing business in Nigerian ports higher than other West African countries, experts believe deployment of the national single window system will reduce cost, thereby making the country's ports more competitive regionally. In Lagos, Hingino, John Adams.
The Lagos state government says it will rely majorly on internally generated revenue rather than borrowing to fund its 2025 budget. The state's Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Okme Judge, disclosed this during the 2025 budget analysis in Lagos. Joyken Abakoya reports.
Giving a breakdown of the 3.36 trillion 2025 budget of Lagos State, the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Okme Judge, says capital expenditure stands at 2.01 trillion, recurrent expenditure 1.295 trillion, including debt servicing, which establishes a capital to recurrent ratio of 62 to 38%. The budget, he says, will be funded from a total revenue estimate of 2.96 trillion, comprising internally generated revenue, capital receipts, and transfers from federal allocations.
Social inclusion and human capital development has not been left behind, and the administration believes that a population that is healthy and skilled and safe can only convert the opportunities in the states to value. Hence the allocation of 222.153 billion and 223.266 billion of the budget on health and education in year 2025.
Reeling out completed and ongoing projects in their various ministries, some other commissioners urged residents to give the state government the support it needs to succeed.
And we've been assured that with the way we are putting our skin in the game, we should be able to complete Adion 2 by February 2027.
We're currently refurbishing 47 primary healthcare hospitals to bring them up to a very advanced stage of modernization, including the addition of solar panels to be in concert with the new policy of the state in terms of climate-friendly infrastructure.
The 2025 Lagos State budget is focused on infrastructure and environmental sustainability, economic diversification, and human capital development, amongst others. In Lagos, Joyken Abakoya, NTA News.
Talking tourism now, Nigeria's tourism industry is set to witness a transformative revolution with the launch of the Motherland 2025 initiative, unveiled by the Minister of Arts, Culture and Tourism. Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy in partnership with Discover Motherland Africa. The project aims to reconnect the global diaspora with their African heritage. Ngufan Shaji Waye reports.
Imagine a Nigeria that is a hub for cultural tourism, where diasporans from around the world come to reconnect with their roots, and visitors experience the country's rich heritage, vibrant traditions, and natural beauty. Motherland 2025 is driving this initiative with a commitment to boosting Nigeria's tourism and economic growth.
Motherland 2025 is more than just a moment in time. It is a catalyst for sustained engagement, forging lasting connections between the diaspora and their homeland, investors and opportunities, and global travelers, and Nigeria's dynamic experiences. As part of the long-term components of this project, we are developing Diaspora City, a thriving tourism hub where members of the diaspora can seamlessly invest and reconnect and put down roots.
This initiative at its core is a tourism movement. one that showcases Nigeria's beauty, creativity, and economic potential to the world. The ministry's dedication to cultural revival and economic growth aligns perfectly with our mission, and we are honored to have them as partners in becoming and bringing this vision to life.
As Motherland 2025 prepares to launch, expectations are high that it will establish Nigeria as a leading tourist destination, putting Nigeria firmly on the global tourism map. In Abuja, Gofan Shaji Ogwanyi, NTA News.
Public confidence in the decisions of a judiciary is the pivot of the respect for the rule of law and public order. This resonates at the freshest course for judicial officers on the bench of Superior Courts of Records in Abuja. Dele Atsumbi of our Judiciary Desk reports.
On the bench of Superior Courts of Records across the country, exchanging ideas on ways to improving justice delivery. The conference with the team strengthening public trust and confidence in the judiciary is the meeting of like minds on how to maintain public confidence in the judiciary. The judicial officers agree that public trust is neither assumed nor conferred, but it must be earned and safeguarded through judicial integrity, professionalism, transparency, and unwavering commitment to justice. They are equally of the opinion that as the third arm of government, the judiciary serves as the guardian of justice, the final arbiter in disputes, and the ultimate custodian of constitutional order. It is their candid submission that as judicial officers, their conduct, both within and outside the courtroom, must reflect the integrity and dignity their offices demand. Participants were of the view that as judicial officers, they bear the solemn responsibility of ensuring that justice is dispensed with fairness, impartiality, and efficiency.
The judiciary does not exist in a vacuum. Its authority and effectiveness are inextricably linked to the trust and confidence that the public reposes in it. Without public confidence, the judiciary's moral authority is diminished, and its ability to discharge its constitutional mandate is impaired.
While judiciary is not only called upon to interpret the law, but is also frequently scrutinized under critical lens of the public opinion.
Participants also posit that it is not enough to be impartial. Judicial officers must also be seen to be impartial, knowing full well that the perception of bias can be as damaging as the reality itself. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Let's take a break. Panorama continues shortly.
Government of Nigeria warns vandals of national assets, electricity transmission towers, cables and other facilities to desist from this act of sabotage. Vandalism is a serious crime punishable under the law. Vandalizing electrical equipment will affect millions of Nigerians, including your loved ones. Remember that national assets belong to all of us, hence the need to protect them. Report all cases of suspicious movement around electrical facilities to security agencies. When you see something, say something. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation in collaboration with the National Counter-Terrorism Center, NCTC, Office of the National Security Advisor.
Our major currency unit is the Naira, while the minor unit is the Kobo. They are both in notes and coins. The Naira is more than just a medium of exchange. It bears the images of our heroes. So, stop abusing the Naira. It is a criminal offense to spray the Naira at events. Stop stepping on the Naira. It's not your enemy. Do not squeeze, ruffle, or write on the Naira. Handling the Naira with dirty or oily hands can deface the Naira. Love the Naira as you love yourself. Be a real Nigerian. Do not abuse the Naira.
Thank you for staying with us. As Nigeria grapples with the challenges of climate change and air pollution, biomass, geothermal, hydropower, solar and wind have been identified as an alternative solution for greener and cleaner energy capable of meeting the needs of a nation's growing population. Emel Durin, this report takes a look at how Nigeria can fully key into these energy sources for the benefit of our citizens. Her report is here presented.
Available record by Statista shows that Nigeria's energy consumption has been on the increase over the years, with majority of its energy coming from residential and transport sectors. The demand increases annually due to the fast-growing population of the country, which about 60% of the number are still living without electricity. This therefore explains the urgent need for alternative solutions to reduce the pressure on the national supply grid, which experienced a lot of collapse in 2024. Central to this shift is the integration of advanced and sustainable energy solutions, which are revolutionizing how the country produces, distributes, and consumes energy. Smart grids, for instance, are expected to save billions annually by reducing energy waste and improving grid reliability.
Solar is very sustainable, so it would be nice if the government can invest in that.
Recently, a guy discovered how to use water to light his house in those remote areas.
Nigeria could be on the verge of solving her long-term power challenges, leveraging smart technologies to provide consumer flexibility and AI-driven personalized devices, which are paving the way for a more sustainable and efficient energy future.
Now, to further elucidate on sustainable renewable energy solutions, I have with me Dr. Nnadozie Isenguzo, consultant, renewable energy sources and bankable projects. You're welcome to Panorama.
Thank you.
All right, now, so how would you describe renewable energy, in layman's term, for the benefit of Nigerians?
Once again, thank you for having me.
Okay.
Renewable energy resources are the naturally provided sources that God has given to us in abundance to ensure that we use at our will. One of it is the water resources. You know that over 40% of Nigerian energy comes from the hydro dam and similar sources. So for Nigeria, two key issues are driving our demand for sustainable energy resources. The first is the local population that is growing, and then our economic growth, and also the raising of the standard of living of most Nigerians, including in the rural areas. The other aspect is the clean air energy resources that is driven internationally. So we are driving towards using renewable sources that have less impact into the environment. Our fossil fuel has a lot of greenhouse gases that come from there. So the plan is to substitute the fossil fuel energy with renewable energy, so that two things we will do: reduce the emissions into the air, the greenhouse gases into the air, and again make it affordable for every Nigerian, irrespective of where they are living.
Okay, I'm just going to go straight now to ask you, which would you say is the best renewable energy source, that Nigerians can readily afford?
Yes, just like I said, already Nigeria is depending on hydro energy, which contributes over 50% of our energy sources. If you remember, Shiroro Dam, Kainji Dam, Jeba Dam, all those things are dependent on this renewable energy. Water is everywhere, and water is free. And so once we can build dams, then we can get this energy. But the best so far that has proven to be what we need now is the solar energy, because there is excess of solar energy. Now, renewable energy are energies that are produced or renewed faster than they are used. So we have abundant sunlight, we have abundant solar energy, and this is available everywhere in this country. And so on a small scale, everybody can have access to solar energy once you're able to get solar panels to harness the energy from the sun.
Okay, Dr. Nnadozie, from what you're saying, it means that the renewable energy sources can actually replace the fossil fuel energy methods we've been using over the years. Now, how can, we maximize the solar that you have spoken about right now? Because we see that building a dam, let's say in the northern part of the country now, will cost much, you understand, but getting the solar, stored, I think will favor the northern part more than the southern part, that we have more water and all of that. So how do you think that we can really harness the solar energy for the benefit of Nigerians?
Yeah, already the solar energy is becoming very popular in Nigeria because everybody can easily lay his hands on it, although it's expensive. So to harness it, what I think we need to continue to do is there are policies that have made it possible that from 2015, from 13% renewable energy resources which Nigeria is producing to 23% this 2005. And then there is projection that in 2030 we should have at least 36% of renewable energy put into all our total energy resources in Nigeria. Yeah. So government is making available some funds available to some people to be able to bring in the solar panels. But what we think can hasten it and bring is, first of all, to commission some Nigerians domestically to produce the solar panels and then to distribute them, if possible, on state-by-state basis, and then also to make it possible for people in the local communities to have access to the solar panels.
Okay. All right. Now, Doctor, because of time, we will not be able to really go into all of this. But lastly, what advice would you have for Nigerians in the use of this renewable, energy sources?
Okay. There are so many sources, like we've said. There is the water, there is the solar. There is also the biogas. Yeah. People are producing waste every day within their community. They can harness that and get methane from it and use it as cooking gas. There is also the wind. Most of our coastal areas in Nigeria, we don't have a lot of wind veins that can generate energy for us. So if we can harness all this together, our electricity provision will be enhanced.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nadozie Singuzo, for your time on Panorama.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. It's now time for us to join Gift Judge for Sports Updates.
Nigeria's under-20 men's football team, the Flying Eagles, have resumed camp in Abuja ahead of the 2025 CAF Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. Coach Aliyu Zubairu is in charge of the players' training sessions at the FIFA Goal Project, Package B of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. Nigeria go into the competition as back-to-back champions of the Wafubi Under-20 tournament. The competition holds from April 26th to May 8, 2025. With 12 countries qualified to take part, the teams will seek qualification for the FIFA Under-20 Men's World Cup, scheduled for Chile. The 4 semi-finalists automatically qualify to represent Africa at the FIFA Under-20 Men's World Cup. In grassroots football, Chairman of the Badagry Divisional Football Association, Osondo Martins, while addressing football stakeholders of the community ahead of the 2025-26 season, has explained that there will be football leagues for grassroots teams, women, elite clubs, as well as scouting and camping programs for talented youth, while a multi-purpose stadium is expected to commence construction this year. This is said as some of the strategies to grow the game and achieve youth development.
With these stadiums, which the contractor has started to work in the space of 2-3 years, but that will have at least minimum of 2 standard stadiums that we can call our own. Our children, our youth can go there and give their best and express their career. I think I'm using this video to encourage the players. They should be on their best. We'll be having a lot of, I think the year will be prosperous for us.
On the foreign scene, the 5th round of the English FA Cup matches have been drawn. The fixture shows that Preston will host Burnley, Aston Villa welcomes Cardiff City, Manchester United takes on Fulham in an all-Premier League affair, Crystal Palace meets Millwall, Newcastle squares up against Brighton in another Premier League battle, while Bournemouth faces Wolves, amongst other matches. With Sports Update, Gift George, NTA News.
And that wraps Panorama from the Lagos Network Center of the NTA. Thank you for sharing your